Hello. This is a recording about how to do the assessments and understand the assessments that you receive about the couples that you're seeing. So you should receive an assessment PDF files with passwords on them from me or my TA, from us as a team. And they're going to tell you a little bit about, your couple before you ever see them. So I'm a big fan of the way we do things. And then what you're going to find is this worksheet. So where is this worksheet, you wonder? Well, it's right here. You go to the hopecouples.com/regent page, right? And then you go down here, right here, couple clinic assessment key right here. It tells you how to score the questionnaires and everything, right? So it's right here. So it's not too hard. You're going to have to hand do these, right? But you can go in and put in the female and the male score, and it's 51.5 is the cutoff. So below that would be considered clinical. But of course, there's a softness to this, right? It's not like a hard truth. So make sure you get that down. And what I like to do when I see couples is just put down, is that notable? Like, really, really unhappy female or something, right? Like put that down. Like, well, they both seem very happy. Hmm, you know. So you can score up questions 1, 3, 5 for the Hope Pathways score, questions 2, 4, 6 for the Hope Agency score. So this is whether they feel like they have pathways and agency for change. Here's all your care things right here, right? And you'll be using that on your report later. This year, we're asking about 3 goals that they have, and then how important that goal is and how difficult they find it to be. So put in the information that you have here. We ask the iOS both for their partner and for their higher power. So you can just put in the score number there. And then you can get their scores on constructive communication, self-demand, partner withdrawal, partner demand, self-withdraw, and kind of get a sense of what kind of communication you're looking at. And then you have some physical aggression items, forgiveness, how upset or hurt they are. For the forgiveness questions, that is a scale, but it's not a clinically used scale. So just kind of look over their answers and get your impression of those items if they answered them. These were optional. Sometimes they say no, there's nothing to forgive, which I never believe. And one day I might not make this optional anymore. The PERSIP for their top character strengths of their partner is a checklist now instead of a long questionnaire. I've finished developing the scale. So you'll want to go in and just look at what they said their top 5 character strengths of their partner was. And of course, it's always interesting if they put less than 5, right? Yeah. And then you have right through here, you have all of your red flaggy stuff, right, to put down. Like, oh, yeah, no, yes, legal issues, no, aggression items, anything. So this you would just write in the information that you need, and then you can put this information in if you find it helpful. This whole page is really helpful for most people to just be able to kind of score up everything and look at the whole picture altogether. I am not going to be collecting this. It's up to your supervisor if they would like to see it so that it's all scored up, for it, but you'll have to hand do it. And then from here, you've got all the instructions on how to do all these things. Like this is a paper version essentially of our questionnaires and how to score all the little pieces and inclusion of self and others and blah, 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 blah. Right? Communication patterns. So it kind of tells you the forgiveness items, the PERSIP, the screening items. It gives you all the information through here that allows you to be able to understand what's going on with this person. So I hope that this is helpful to you as you are scoring up your first case that you get, and you can put it all in here and then you'll have it all set to go. One more thing I'm going to point out, just as like a bonus, we do have a couple of these things. If you have issues popping up of infidelity and domestic violence, this infidelity screening tool is a set of questions. Generally, you ask these questions individually of them. It would be very, very rare to do them together, but this would be kind of like a set of questions to do for infidelity in the individual time. So you get a full sense of what's happening. And then this is what clinical experience and research says in terms of lower and higher risk, so that you can get a sense of what you're looking at, some personality traits, things like that. So you can give this as a handout to the client and have them fill it out, or you can do it as an interview and talk it through with them. Okay. And then the other one is a domestic violence screening tool that we use. And this one is probably best to give to them, but you could very easily do this as a verbal interview with them. And just kind of asking yes, no, has this happened in the past year or prior to that? We're more concerned, obviously, if these things are happening in the past year. And you'll want to consult your supervisor if you feel like the client is in immediate danger, and that ends up happening once in a blue moon, not very common, but if you feel like someone is at risk if they go home that night with their partner. So I believe that's everything we've got for you guys in terms of doing that. The treatment monitoring template, you're going to be taking this information and entering it into the Excel file. This is the weekly HOPE routine outcome monitoring. Most of you will do this with an online link, but you can also do it by hand if you want to. But we just created this. Most students say that they find it helpful to be able to just go in. We've got the first 2 sessions just pre-blocked so that it kind of shows up down here with something. And then you can go through and do the rest of it. But you can do it by hand too if you want to enter this information from the routine monitoring into the Excel, so that you can do that at session 6 and final sessions to review with a couple. So very good. Nice.